So this isn't a review for Captain Marvel. Me and my friend did a review for it yesterday. This is more of a talk about how it's okay to like things and it's okay to not like things. Like, I know that's a lost concept to a lot of people on the internet nowadays, but it's true. Some things can be middle of the road. Some things can be terrible. Some things can be great. Some things can almost be great. Some things can be mediocre. And this is where I'm talking about when it comes to a movie like Captain Marvel, and that seems to be the narrative, is that there is a lot of mixed discussions in terms of how people feel about this movie. And me personally, I did love it, but it is okay if you didn't love it. Believe it or not, this is a movie that I was a little skeptical about to begin with. I thought the trailers weren't that amazing, and then when the reviews came out, a lot of people that I personally respect as reviewers and as YouTubers gave it a mixed review. So I was a bit concerned, so that's why I was so shocked when I came out, and I loved it. I watched it twice. I watched it in 3D the first time and 2D the second time, and I liked it just as much, if not more, the second time. But reviewers such as Chris Stuckman, one of the most popular YouTube reviewers I respect so much, I own his book. It's a very good book, very intriguing book. Gave it a mixed review, gave it a C. Dan Murrell on Screen Junkies, who I think has film knowledge like crazy, like nobody else, and I very much enjoy his opinions on movies. And he didn't love the movie. The Double Toasted Crew, literally my favorite YouTube channel, they enjoyed the movie, but found something to be desired. It could have been better, according to them. And this all leads to me saying that I actually totally understand their point of view. I totally get why somebody wouldn't love the movie. A lot of the reasons why they didn't like the movie worked opposite for me. For instance, a lot of people looking at the narrative and how the first act didn't draw them in and they didn't like it. Honestly, I really liked the first act of this movie. I think that it has an interesting point of view in terms of how it's showing us Carol Danvers' backstory. It's very interesting, unlike any other MCU movie. So that also goes along with people saying that it's just another by-the-numbers MCU movie. And I actually really disagree with that one. But yet again, it's totally cool if you feel that way. But I don't think this is like any other origin story that we've seen in the MCU, just because of how her backstory is delivered. It's reminiscent of something like Memento, and looking into her mind, something like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I've seen a couple reviewers mention these movies. A lot of other people don't really like Carol Danvers as a character. They find her unrelatable, and that her character, we don't really know her that well. And in my argument for that, yet again, it is fine. You can have your opinion. But for me, she's learning about herself while we're learning about her. And I thought that was such an interesting concept in this film, that she doesn't know who she is. And it's not till by the end when she really figures out her full potential. And also bring up Captain America, the First Avenger, Thor, maybe even Iron Man, maybe less so Iron Man. These aren't characters that were amazing in their first movies. Thor was just okay. Captain America was good, but he didn't show his full potential till the next movie, which was The Avengers. That's whenever they all came together. Thor was great in that movie. Of course, Iron Man had a couple movies under his belt, and he'd already proved that he was really good, but he was especially great in The Avengers. So I have no reason to believe that she won't be even better in Avengers Endgame. I do think a place where a lot of people can meet is the third act of the movie. I think the third act is really good, very entertaining. But me personally, I did like the first two-thirds, and the first two-thirds may not work for everybody. I know a lot of people are annoyed by the cat Goose in the movie. I actually really like Goose. I thought they didn't overuse what that character is about. I wouldn't mind seeing more of that character in the future, seeing that character interact with a character like Rocket Raccoon, who is my favorite MCU character. I also think that Talos, whatever his character's name is, Ben Mendelsohn's character, I love that character. I love what they did with the Skrulls. I found that so interesting and very unpredictable, when another twist in the movie is quite predictable. It was nice to balance it out with something that was totally unpredictable. He's one of my favorite MCU characters now. So if you didn't love the movie or even really like the movie, I totally understand that. I totally understand the mixed reviews. What I don't understand, but I do kind of understand, is still the review bombing and people giving the movie 1 out of 10. And even, I'd go so far as 2 out of 10s. I don't understand that. Me personally, I'd give it like an 8.3 out of 10. And a lot of people I respect are giving it like a 5 or a 6 out of 10, and I get that. But the concept that I saw when the movie was coming out was this backlash against Brie Larson. Of course, we know all about that. And there's people that have dedicated their YouTube channels to literally just talk shit about Brie Larson. And what do you know? These people, the movie came out, they didn't like the movie. What was the odds of them actually liking the movie? People calling it the worst MCU movie. People calling it one of the worst movies they've seen in years. It's not the worst MCU movie, even though with my bias that I like the movie a lot, I'd say most people would rank it in the middle, or maybe around like 13 or 14 out of the 21 films. It is not worse than Iron Man 2 or Thor the Dark World. It is just not. You got to get that out of your head, that concept. Another thing that I saw before the movie came out was people just making these theories and people backing them up because they have a fan base, obviously. I saw one guy, I don't even know the guy's name. The YouTube channel, I never go to it anymore because there was just pure stupidity coming out of it. But David F. Sandberg, the director of Shazam, actually defended Captain Marvel before it came out, talking about all the trolls and stuff, and that it's like both movies can exist. It's okay. I'm looking forward to the Captain Marvel. I hope it has success. And one guy was like, it's like, man, David F. Sandberg just trolled Captain Marvel so hard with this tweet. I guess he thought David F. Sandberg was being sarcastic, but if you look down at the tweets coming after that, like, he doubled down on it. Like, he was actually legitimately angry at the trolls, and he was defending Captain Marvel and Brie Larson. So people reaching for stuff like that, saying that he was trolling Captain Marvel is stupid. Another concept I'm seeing now that the movie is out is, of course, Rotten Tomatoes, and people talking about how some of these fresh reviews don't really feel like fresh reviews. This is going to be a little over-exaggerated, but let's take into consideration somebody reads one of these quotes that they put on Rotten Tomatoes of one of these reviews. And here's a quote from Heather Hogan. The quote, she gave it a fresh review. It says, "A slow start, but once the movie got going, it left me breathless." I've seen people essentially take something like that and be like, a slow start? Movies don't need to have slow starts. That doesn't sound like a positive review for me. It sounds like a negative review. Stuff like that. It's crazy. Let me find another one here. This one's from Mark Ellis of the Schmoes Know, a guy that I really respect. He said, "I liked a lot of this movie, and there's so much potential. The writing was the weakest part of the movie, but especially by the second half, things smoothed out." He gave it a 3.75 out of 5. And I've seen people take, yet again, something like this and be like, he liked a lot of the movie. Why didn't he like the whole movie? Sounds like a negative review to me. And that's also the concept of people viewing things as the best thing ever or the worst thing ever. Things can be in between. This was a mixed to positive review from Mark Ellis on Schmoes Know. And the internet is being really stupid right now, and I really am not a fan of it. Personally, I did love this movie. It is definitely okay if you didn't. It doesn't make you a sexist pig. Yet again, these people that I respect didn't really like the movie. They do consider it one of the weaker MCU movies. But there's some people that are just saying stupid things, and the likelihood of them liking it to begin with and being like, I was totally wrong about the marketing and Brie Larson in this movie. The movie was actually good. I haven't seen much of that. Most of the people that you predicted was going to hate it definitely hated it. They've tripled down on it, and it's just really annoying. That's all I have to say. I've said this about Black Panther, but movies are complex. It's more than just love and hate. There's things in between. I just so happen to love it, and recognizing its flaws. A flaw maybe is that Captain Marvel's writing as a character isn't the strongest, but I do think Brie Larson gives it her all. That's just how I feel. Other people may see her as stale in this movie, but I thought she was fine. Maybe her writing could be better, and I think it's going to improve over time. Let me know what you thought of Captain Marvel in the comment section below. Did you like it? Did you feel mixed about it? Or did you just hate it and you're going to give it a 1 out of 10? Let me know. Hit that subscribe button, and thank you for watching.